How are we supposed to make it through 66 more of these? I have no idea. Mets lose 6-2 to the Chicago White Sox. They won the series, but this is again a series that they needed to sweep, especially against a team that is not good like the White Sox. But the problem is that when the Mets have starting pitchers go less than 6 innings, it is impossible for them to win a baseball game. It just is. Why is that the case? Well, because of the fact that one, it makes sense, right? When your starting pitcher goes deeper in games, the odds are more likely that you're going to win the baseball game because that clearly means your starting pitcher is doing a good enough job at putting you in a good position to succeed. Well, that wasn't necessarily the case for today because Jose Quintana put them in a spot where they could have won this baseball game, but instead you have to go to the B unit of the bullpen, which we know is not good. Even the A unit has their troubles. Ottavino has not been perfect this year. Raley has not been perfect this year. Robertson kind of got lucky with that save that he got. He hung one over the plate, but Tim Anderson is not a good baseball player, so he wasn't able to hit it. But they just... This bullpen just sucks, right? There's no way around it. That's why Drew Smith and Pete Alonso, well, Pete Alonso's on the bullpen, but Drew Smith and Pete Alonso are in the title because they are mostly, I'm not going to say it's fully their fault, but they're mostly responsible for this loss. Drew Smith sucks. He does. I've been beating the drum for who knows how long at this point. Go back and watch as many post games as you need to find when I first started bashing Drew Smith, if you're that curious. But I've been on this for a while that he is not good. I'm not trying to give myself a pat on the back for knowing a guy is not good. But this is just, you can't use him. You can't. And this was one of the guys that needed to step up in the absence of Edwin Diaz, and he just hasn't. I'm not going to blame Buck Showalter for going to Drew Smith in the 6th inning in a one-run ball game. Yes, a one-run ball game, you'd like to have a better relief pitcher in an ideal world, but they don't have the tools there. Buck Showalter does not have the toolbox to reach into to go ahead and bring in a good enough relief pitcher for the sake of it in a one-run ball game in the 6th. Because who else was he going to go to? Don't give me David Peterson. I know he got the next out, but don't give me David Peterson. Dominic Leone has been untrustworthy. He had a good outing. Trevor Gott had a good outing, but another guy that's not trustworthy. So what were your options? There weren't any. But this is just embarrassing to watch. It's been embarrassing to watch, and I'm tired. I cannot believe there's still fans holding out hope for this team to make the postseason. God bless your soul. God bless your soul. We broke it down yesterday in the postgame that even if they went on a 13-game heater between sweeping the White Sox, sweeping the Red Sox, sweeping the Yankees, sweeping the Nationals, that would have put them on a 13-game win streak. Even that would not have guaranteed them to be within enough distance of a wild card spot or to even be fighting for a wild card spot. So I'm trying to comprehend how people still have faith. Unless they're having faith for the sake of it or they're genuinely that optimistic in this baseball team, which again, God bless you, but again, June, they punted it. They could have afforded, this is a loss they could have afforded, and we could have been like, hey, at least you won the series if they didn't have a piss poor June. But even then, this bullpen's not good enough to contend. It's not. I've addressed it multiple times. This bullpen's not good enough. The underlying numbers tell you that nobody except for David Robertson's good in this bullpen. And maybe Brooks Raley. List ends there. Leave a like if you enjoy the video, by the way. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. But I'm not even going to waste my time going deep, doing a deep dive into like the scoring summary. I'm just going to cut it short, cut it simple. Let's just jump into this. So the White Sox get runners on first and third in the first inning as Tim Anderson got a single and Robert did. Anderson with aggressive base running off of Robert's single was able to reach third. So runners on the corners, and then Eloy Jimenez would drive in the runner to make it a 1-0 ball game. Jose Quintana got out of the early trouble, thankfully. And then the Mets don't respond in the bottom of the first and the top of the second. Zach Romillard ends up hitting a double, and then Elvis Andrus ends up getting a sacrifice fly because on the previous at-bat, Colas advanced Remillard over to third, and then Andrus gets a sacrifice fly, and then there is not really much scoring at all later on in the game. Unfortunately, though, it looked like Tommy Pham, when he hit into that double play, got a little bit aggravated that groin a little bit, which we know he's doing with a groin injury. He had to leave the game, and that only complicated things more because Starling Marte went on the IL right before the game. Mark Vientos has been called up to the club, so he will be here. And Buck Showalter saying Tommy Pham might need a brief IL stint. So, great. Isn't that great? Jeff McNeil moves to right field, and Luis Guillorme comes in to play the game, and now he's batting second. And McNeil went to McNeil went to right, and then Canna went from right to left. Yeah, so that's the way that went. But not much really happened scoring-wise until the bottom of the fifth, where Omar Narvaez would hit a home run to make it a 2-1 ball game. So nice to see Narvaez get a home run, but Quintana, he ends up going 5 innings, only threw 77 pitches. I didn't expect him to really throw that many pitches in this game because of the fact that he's coming back from the IL. It's his first start. They really babied him back into things here. So I didn't expect him. 2 earned runs, 6 hits against, 3 strikeouts for him. Not the worst start, not the best start. I'll take it from Jose Quintana for his first start back, but would have been nice to be able to go deeper, and apparently teams are making calls to the Mets on him, which is interesting. Then Drew Smith comes into the game, though, in relief for him. Luis Robert gets on thanks to a horrendous error by Pete Alonso. Horrendous. Robert ends up stealing a bag as well. Eloy Jimenez gets a single. Berger walks. And then Yasmani Grandal's left one right over the plate, which he probably should have crushed out of the ballpark. If it was a good baseball player, this would have left the ballpark. But that made it a 4-1 game. Colas got a sacrifice fly a little bit after to make it a 5-1 game. And then Elvis Andrus in the year 2023 hit a triple to make it a 6-1 game. So glad that Elvis Andrus in the year 2023 is doing damage on the Mets. Right. Then Peterson comes in and gets the out that he needs to. Mets do absolutely nothing in the bottom of the 6th except for Pete Alonso getting absolutely shredded for hitting into a flyout. And not much really else happens. I mean, you have Pete Alonso get himself an RBI, though. Nimmo got a double, and then Alonso drove him in with an RBI single as Chris Paul hits a huge 3 to cut the lead down to 42 there. And that's pretty much all she wrote with the scoring summary there. Mets had 4 hits in this game to the White Sox 9. Count on one hand again the amount of hits that the Mets got in this game. You see the box score. Too many 0-4s yet again. But it doesn't help that this lineup is just not good enough. It's not. Beatty 0-4, which is unfortunate because I thought he was starting to heat up. Hopefully this is just a one-game thing, and hopefully he doesn't get into a slump again. Canna went 0-3. Not good. I mean, Narvaez is the only guy with multiple hits going 2-3. The only guy I could really give a pass for not getting a hit today is Francisco Alvarez, because he's been good and getting timely hits lately, but Even him 0 for 3. Lindor 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Cool that you're walking, but you still struck out twice, and we need you to get hits. Guillorme 0 for 2. I mean, I didn't expect much from him, but it's just infuriating that he's still trotting out there for this baseball team. McNeil 0 for 3. And then the bullpen did fine outside of Drew Smith. Drew Smith is just a disaster. And he needs to be... There needs to be conversations about him being DFA'd. There needs to. And I get the whole thing that they want to experiment with him and they still have belief in him. But he has not been good. He has not. And there's no way around it at all. There's no way around it. But Mets now sit 7 games back of the wild card. Anybody still believe? 'Cause I sure as hell don't. They head into Boston tomorrow. Vientos will be joining the team. Probably will be riding the bench because we know that, God forbid we let prospects play for a struggling baseball team. God forbid we take a God forbid we take a page out of the any good team or any other team's playbook there on that one. But again, what do I know? I'm just an idiot making YouTube videos. What do I know? But who's pitching tomorrow? I already forgot for some reason. I don't know why it's blank. Nice. Cannot check there. I love how the MLB website's just so much more difficult to navigate than it needs to be. The NHL website, everything's right there. Senga versus Crawford. So, sounds like another great day for Kodai Senga to get the Jacob deGrom treatment, right? And get no run support. Or he will get run support, but he won't pitch good enough, right? That's the way this goes. I can't help but be negative. How am I going through the rest of the season? I'm done for this video. See you in the next one.